So I'm almost the same period as the good sister over there. But broadly Norman. So I'm going to, my armour will go from anywhere between 1020 right the way up to sort of the 1180s, 1190s, with minor modifications and things that you would think are common sense. They only just get the idea of. As opposed to me talking constantly, I'm going to ask you questions. I know you didn't think you're going to have to think on a Sunday afternoon, but it's my revenge. So I'm wearing an armour style that's about 1,000 years old. So mail it's been around for 1,000 years by the time we get to sort of the 1150s, 1160s. We're only starting getting the idea that mittens are a really good idea. That's an obvious one for you, isn't it? You protect your hands. And you start to see those in manuscripts, definitely sort of illustrated with the backs of the hands. It's only when you get to the early 1200s that you get to see the details of the slits in the palms. Why do you think we have the slits in the palms? Most important reason. In the manuscripts, and in effigies, in churches around London, you see knights praying like this. It's nothing to do with religion. It is dexterity, so yes, I can certainly eat and drink, but that's not the most important.
Like shaking hands to show that you're unarmed, right? You don't have
is their ability to adapt to other technology. So when they needed archers, they recognised the fact they weren't necessarily the greatest archers in the world. So they would simply go to parts of the Roman Empire, or perhaps friends or allies,
yes,
who were good. And the best bowmen around at the time came from the east of the Roman Empire.
Mm-hmm.
So today what we think of as kind of Arabs,
yes.
Syria, Lebanon, places like that. And so consequently we have the Eastern bow, which is used by the Arabic Roman archers. There are a few Gauls in the Roman army apparently that are archers, but most of them are Arabic. I'm just going to put it down on the phone. So this is why you get the compound recurve associated with the Roman army, if you like, because the bowmen are mostly, as we say, Himanians they called them then, but kind of Syrians and stuff like that today we'd call them. You right, ladies? Come to join the Roman army, have we? Or
So which period are you actually doing?
We're both at the Bronze Age, Iron Age transition.
Oh, yes.
So around about 800, 900 BC in Britain. So yeah, it's a very, archaeologically speaking, interesting time where you have both sets of materials used for tools. How quickly did they take up iron over bronze? How long did it linger on for? And also, what is the latest finds and analysis telling us? So it's a very, very strange time.
Yes.
Usually always thought of quite a violent period as well, although there's not a terrific amount of evidence for increased violence during this time. But certainly some very revealing finds can be very revealing about what might have been going on at the time. Some of the first iron objects where they're mimicking bronze items with incredible accuracy, to the point that when they were dug out of the ground it was thought they were actually bronze. If I showed you a picture of them, we'd think they were bronze, but actually they're made of iron. Probably done to help convince people that this new material was just as good as the old. You've got to bear in mind, by the time we get to that point, bronze working in Britain's lasted for about 1400 years.
Yeah.
So they're used to bronze. They're used to bronze, and they're good. They're good at making
Of
things
course.
from bronze.
What are you exactly making right now?
I'm working on a little bone cloak pin.
I see, okay.
So just slowly scratching it away. I'm annoyed because I was meant to bring a little block of sandstone with me to act as a bit of a file, and I haven't. So trying to do fairly delicate work and not split or snap the pin.
Of course.
Already made a nice little sewing needle out of bone today. So yeah, just trying to keep this size and just slimming it down a bit more so it's not too harsh on the material when we use it. Of course, we've got to decorate it as well. We can't leave it like this.
Of course.
Can't leave it like this.
Thank you. I wish it was all from me, but I cannot
Very
pretend.
clever though. Well, you can use it for watercolors, but I didn't have it before. Probably the Crusades, because it comes from fair.
Not even if you came from that area in back
Oh, if you're in that area potentially, but I wouldn't know about it. Instead, you can use cherry tree bark, no cherry tree sap.
Every bit of this would have a use. We would find a way that nothing got wasted. And I love that.
Yeah.
Because these days you'd shoot the deer, take the meat, and the rest goes in landfill. It crucifies me. Because these are like 80, 120 quid a shot. If people take the time to tan it and look after it. But most places will kill the deer, skin it, use the meat, and the rest is landfill. Which is just horrendous. But the tanning process is expensive, and if people aren't guaranteed to buy it, it's dead money for whoever's doing it. I understand why, it's just a society.
So the Vikings rode here, so they're all really built on their upper body from all the rowing, so that was no problem to them. And the Anglo-Saxons had what they called a fjord, so they were required to serve 6 months of standing military. The rest of the time was harvesting and planting crops. So for 6 months of the year they were trained, they were organised, and then 6 months they went home.
You have a spider on you? Is that what you got? Yes,
Spider.
yes.
Are you interested in knitting, etc.?
So my Viking Age dye
This
stuff
is
and
different
spices.
from arrowheads from the period.
But we further 800 places like that. Because the thing is, most of the fish that is caught in British waters, the British don't eat, it all goes abroad. Whereas we want our cod and our herring and our sprats and things like that, which all come from up to sort of Norway and places like that. So then, during the Second World War, most of these big trawlers, vast number of the big trawlers were requisitioned.
So she didn't want to throw them out. So I said, well, look, I'll make sure everyone's being fed water. So I've got vouchers to use. So you're okay to take them? Oh, that's all right. Yeah. So I was just kind of ask every stand make sure we're okay. But it's yeah. Flanders, and we go to Normandy as well quite regularly. But I'm really into getting kids to travel to educate them. So I went to Australia in 2017. Active? 41 overseas trips within 15 years. So I mean, for me, I love that. To me, as I say to all of them, the best way for me to because you can join this. If you mention my name, right, and I've suggested to you, then they'll write to me and say, I'll bring you vouchers. What it is that all the young people have private sort of Cambridge and here in fact as well, and Oxford, where you go to conferences where you have experts, so you might have 10 talks a day for someone in their own time for something interesting. Someone like you, my gosh, about the first aid side of the world, what a great subject.